Hello and welcome everybody to episode 121 of Today's News Tonight. This is, of course, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined today by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Derek Bittner and Steve Bowling, along with our very special guest, fan-favorite Nintendo YouTuber Nathaniel Bandy. Nathaniel, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great. I'm really glad to be on. How about you guys?
We're good. We're great because we have you here with us.
I am really thrilled to be able to hang out with you. I think from like the first episode of this show, people were like, "Hey, get Nathaniel on." So it's really cool that we're able to make this happen today.
That's just very flattering. Yeah.
It just sort of worked out because I got this last minute message from Arlo, basically like, "Hey, you want to be back on the Arlo cast again?" I was like, "All right," and he's like, "All right, let me see if I can find somebody else to join us," and ended up being Nathaniel. It's
nice.
Like, "Hey, you want to be on TNT as well?" And that's how it happened.
Yeah.
How do I get onto the Arlo cast? I've always wanted to be on the Arlo cast.
I guess just reach out to him.
Just reach out. To him,
So I've reached out to him a couple times. I had him on. We kind of did like a collaboration thing last December. But that's really all I've talked to him. I've talked to him once in person, but that's really about it. So I was kind of surprised he even reached out to begin with. But yeah.
It's a fun cast, fun Arlo cast or whatever.
Fun Arlo cast.
Yeah, it was cool.
If you guys want to talk about food, there you go. Like he always ends it off with food, and I swear that's always the longest section.
That was so
got
fun.
me there.
Talking about Five Guys and stuff, and
yeah
I loved it.
Oh, okay. Now I have to be in the Arlo cast just so I can talk about food. That's where you get me. Yeah. Awesome. Well, before we get too far in, I do want to note that today's episode is sponsored by Joseph Baer, and no sponsorship text or anything like that. He's just sponsoring the show out of the kindness of his heart. So just want to say thank you again so much, Joseph, for your continued support, your incredible generosity. Again, the offer stands. If you change your mind and there is something you want us to promote for you, let us know. We'll do it. But for now, you're just sponsoring us out of the kindness of your heart, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Joseph. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Before we get to the news, there are a couple of things to do. So the first thing is I wanted to do a little PSA for everybody that Square Enix has issued a Dragon Quest survey that we can all fill out to make our voices heard on Dragon Quest and hopefully influence the direction of the series in the West, maybe get some more Western releases here. And I think Derek is probably pasting that in the chat
I'm
right
posting
now.
it now in the live chat and the YouTube chat.
Thank you. So it's like a pretty easy 30-question survey or so. It took me like 5 minutes to do, but hey, might be a great way to get our voices heard directly by Square Enix and let them know we want more Dragon Quest in the West. Dragon West, as it were.
We do. Give us more. There's a lot of games we have not gotten, or there's just.
I was going to say, for most people, that's probably a one-question survey. Like, do you want more Dragon Quest? Yes, please.
Exactly. So go ahead and check out that survey if you care about the future of the series in the West. Make your voice heard. It's like I said, 5 minutes. Really easy survey. But other than that, there was an Indie World presentation this morning, and of course, a lot of you here were with us here this morning as we live reacted to the presentation. But Nathaniel, you were not here with us, so would like to get your thoughts on Indie World, kind of reflect on the presentation a bit. How are you feeling about the presentation in general?
So I mean, Indie Worlds always tend to kind of be a hit or miss for me because sometimes, it's just a lot of games that I'm not interested in. This one, I would say probably about half of it is games not really for me. I do have to appreciate just the pacing. Like, I'm noticing the pacing for Indie World as well as directs they continue to get better and better and more streamlined. So that was awesome. Really, the main highlight for me, it's going to be kind of dumb, but Tetris Effect connected on the Switch.
That's not dumb at all. That's hype as hell.
I need more Tetris. I already have Puyo Tetris 1, Tetris 2, Tetris 99. I absolutely have to get this on Switch too.
Have you played Tetris Effect before?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
The thing is, you're in for a treat.
You are.
I know. Yeah. So I mean, I've known about it for a long time, and it's like I've wanted to play it. Like I've seen a very little footage because it's one of those games you just kind of have to experience. So I think I'm finally going to get to it, and I love that it's also cross-platform, which is really cool. So I don't know if it was like that before, but that's cool. That's Switch people can play it with whoever.
I
really okay.
I will say it's funny how Indie World kind of makes people pay more attention. I put it down on the TV after we reacted to it because my friend who's with me today and my wife, they didn't get to watch it. And so I was talking to them about it, and they're like, well, why don't you just throw it on the TV? So we watched it again, and she saw Tetris Effect, and my wife was like, holy hell, I want to play that game. And I had to remind her, I was like, we've had it on the Series X since last November. And she's like, oh, I don't pay attention to Xbox. She was like, now that it's on Switch, though. So, yeah.
It really is so good, though.
You want to talk about a vibe. If you can, like, just go into a dark room, put on headphones. I don't, with the Switch, it doesn't matter whether you're on TV, on the handheld itself. You could just vibe to this thing, just fall into a groove and just really lose yourself in it. It's great.
It is such an incredibly special audio-visual experience.
Yeah, I noticed it's coming to Steam as well in like a week, and it's going to have VR support. So I doubt this is going to happen, but it would be kind of cool if you could use the Labo VR headset with this game and experience in VR. It's not going to happen, but that would be pretty cool. It would be
nice.
Yeah. I really want to try this in VR. I was mentioning it during the Indie World. I always want to say Indie Direct, but during the Indie World, and I need to. I have a Valve Index. I just never ever use it. I'm pretty sure it has like 6 inches of dust on it by now.
No, I mean that's so hype. I'm so glad that other people are going to get to play Tetris Effect. It truly is a special iteration of Tetris, and the fact that it's being opened up to a whole new audience on the Switch with people like yourself, Nathaniel, it's great. Everyone should play this game, especially if you enjoy the audio visual aspect of games and the synesthesia-esque games. It very much is right in line with that. It's so good. Everyone already knows that I'm hype about this, but the other big thing for me was Axiom Verge 2 Shadow dropped.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
So have you played Axiom Verge 1?
I have not, but it's been on my to-do list to play because it looks like something that I would want to play.
You
so
very much should, yeah. If it seems like the kind of game you would want to play, chances are it is. It's a really good Metroidvania with incredible atmosphere. The atmospheric aspect of it is just top notch, and I think you'll really like it if you enjoy Metroidvanias.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But no, it's just I think it was definitely one of the stronger Indie World presentations we've ever had, and I love indie games in general, but I think we're all pretty much in agreement, Derek and Steve and I, that was one of the stronger Indie Worlds there have been.
Yeah.
So
while not everything is for me, I think everything had its own visual style, because for a while there, indies always felt like they were just 2D pixel art type things, and you can really see how the abilities and the breadth of knowledge almost for these have really expanded. And so all these wonderful visual styles that I looking forward to. That said, as Sapphire points out, God, I want Metal Slug Tactics. That might be my most hyped for indie game right now.
I forgot about that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I will say, though, the one game that I have picked up so far from Indie World is Boyfriend Dungeon.
Did you really pick that up?
I want to check that out.
I cannot wait to... I haven't played it yet, but I did pick it up. The actual combat, the moment-to-moment gameplay looked really cool. I'm not really interested in mating with a weapon, but I do like the idea of kind of like a dungeon crawling game with kind of faster paced action. The pixel art looked really good, and it's like, you know what? It seems offbeat enough. It'll be interesting.
You picked yourself up a husbandolier.
Exactly.
I really want to check. Even from the little footage we saw, it just seemed really interesting and kind of off the wall and weird. I want to check it out for sure.
Yeah, well, I'll be bringing it with me tomorrow, so you'll
hell yeah, nice.
Oh god,
have a chance to check that out.
All right. Well, before we get to the news, we do have a few super chats to read out. First one is from Alex Rodriguez for $1.99. No comment, just.
Hey, he actually does comment a couple messages down.
Oh, awesome. Okay, 1 second. Let me find that. Oh, here we go. Sorry I didn't add it to the message. I just wanted to say it's my first time donating and tuning in live to a show. I've been a fan since GX and have tried to support as much as I could. Well, Alex, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. That means the world to us. We're glad you followed us here to GVG. We're happy to have you in our audience. And thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Next is $5 from Wapi Bulinga with alarm sounds. Ooh, holy shit! Nathaniel Bandy has escaped the Nahum's basement. Someone call Nathan in Minus World. He has GVG hostage. It's true. We don't have him hostage. He's taking us hostage.
I was gonna say, did I was I in a hostage situation? I did not know it.
Yeah. Apparently we have been. All three of us are being held hostage, and we have not even known it until now, thanks to Mwape letting us know. So thank you for the donation and for the warning, Mwape. Really appreciate it. Jaden Buck with a $5 donation saying, it's mind-blowing to see Nathaniel here today, and it triggers me that it didn't happen sooner. We were hoping to have Nathaniel on for a long time, and we just had to get our schedules, in sync and aligned, but it's finally happened. The dream collaboration you've all been waiting for. So it's finally happened. Also, $1.99 from Screamo Shaman saying, real quick, any indies you want to see on Switch? Geez, all of them? I mean, I love indie games.
Yeah. I can't think of any indies that aren't on the Switch, honestly. Or eventually coming.
Oh, I was going to say, is Golf with Your Friends on the Switch, but I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is. Oh, you know what? Since Tetris Effect is like the big announcement of the day, Res Infinite. I'd love to see Res Infinite make it to the Switch.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
I'd love that.
I'm gonna have to beg out of this question because every indie I can think of that I love is already there. So,
I actually did not realize this. There's a couple coming on here, thanks to Doodle and Concept of Eduardo. Chicory, which I didn't realize was a PlayStation exclusive.
I didn't realize that.
I've heard nothing but good things about that. And then Amori from Concept of Eduardo, which again I've heard really good things about.
All right,
Amori's on its way to Switch. They've already announced it. It's just a matter of when it comes out. So at least Amori is on its way, and I'm really looking forward to checking that out because I've heard really, really interesting things.
Yeah, I guess I would say Chicory or Ooblets. Now that I think about it, Ooblets is Xbox only, I believe. That would be a cool one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I do have one indie game. So there's one called Rolled Out, and basically this it's been in development for a few years. There's like a beta out on Steam. It was at a time when Monkey Ball was like it wasn't really going anywhere. So it launched I think sometime this year if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically it takes the Monkey Ball engine and it creates its own game out of it. So like the physics from Monkey Ball 1 and 2 on GameCube are all there, but it's all brand new levels and new music, new characters. Something like that would fit very, very well on the Switch. So I want to see that.
I'm hoping the Monkey Ball remake or remaster or whatever the release, whatever it does well. So
Banana Mania.
I'm
excited about that. I mean, we've talked plenty about that.
I'm obsessed with Monkey Ball, so I cannot wait to get my hands on that. I'm really hoping to get the game early because the Monkey Ball Twitter actually followed me a couple months ago. So I sent them a DM. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to like work together?" They're like, "Yes, we'll send you the game early." I'm like,
which is good because that will actually give you time for Metro Dread since they release so close to each other.
Yeah, they're so close together. Hopefully, we get a little early as well. I know we're all really excited for it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Skullkid Tiger with a $2 donation saying, "Excited for Tetris Effect, building blocks of gaming." Yeah, Tetris literally is the building blocks of gaming. So very true. Thank you so much for the donation. $10 from Rexc_BCQ. Just got a part-time job, so I have some pocket money. Watched you guys for years since GX and was here for GVG day one. Thanks for the great content. Also Rexc is pronounced Rec for future. Okay, so also Rec is pronounced Rec for future reference.
Appreciate it
so much.
Yeah,
Rec cool. BQ, really appreciate it, and thank you for following us all the way from GX. We really appreciate you and love you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
200 Swedish krone from Isaac Wolf saying, like I told you guys during your Ratchet and Clank episode months ago, your positive energy has helped me out indirectly to keep on going. Now I have managed to finish writing a book that I started due to therapy. So thank you again.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is really awesome.
That's incredibly impressive.
Congratulations. And we are humbled and thankful to know that we played some small positive role in that. Thank you so much for letting us know, and congrats on finishing your book. Finally, $5 from Keaton Kitsune. Are you all, or any of you all sad that the Blaster Master Zero series has ended? Yes, I am. On one hand, I really appreciate a finite ending. I appreciate that they're ending the story conclusively. on the other hand, I love these games, and I'm going to be finishing Blaster Master 03 soon. Really curious to see how it all ends up. But I'm going to miss these games, even though I'm glad they have an ending. I'm going to miss knowing there's another one or thinking there's another one on the horizon. Although I do believe Matt Papa over at NT, who is a previous guest of TNT, by the way, mentioned that Blaster Master stories may continue, just not with the current set of characters or something like that. So it may not actually be the end. We'll see. But yes, I love that series. Nathaniel,
I'm okay with this because go ahead. Yeah.
It was didn't the first one come out like near the Switch's launch?
Yeah, it was like yeah.
Okay, I think I played a little bit of the first one, but I definitely didn't finish it. I did like it though, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Sorry, Derek, you were saying.
Yeah, it's a good time, and you just get a finite ending in games so rarely that I can really appreciate that. And it kind of goes to show, like look at the Mega Man Zero series, strongest story because it has an ending. So
exactly, yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for all your super chats, everybody. As a reminder, we'll be reading any future super chats out between news stories because we do need to get to the news. And with that said, y'all ready for some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Here our first news story comes. Rougher than the rest, the best of them, tougher than leather. Let's get that up on screen.
Well done.
Thank you. All right, so this is what y'all came here for. This is the big news story of the day, the main one on our thumb. Idris Elba has confirmed that he will be voicing Knuckles the Echidna in the upcoming Sonic movie sequel. And I don't know about you all, but I am hyped for this. I love him as an actor. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Nathaniel, you are our guest of the day, of course. You're the guest of honor. What are your immediate thoughts on Idris Elba voicing Knuckles in Sonic 2?
I'm pretty excited about it. So I've seen the Sonic movie like 3 times.
Nice.
So it was like, I think it was twice in theater and then once just off of DVD. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that like it was dropped there. It wasn't dropped from like the official Sonic Twitter. So I wonder if that's going to happen for the Tails voice actor too, where it's just like the voice actor is just going to have a picture of like Tails' fist or like Tails, just like the back of Tails or something. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it.
That's a good question. And I imagine it didn't come from the Sonic Twitter because Idris probably has a much larger like a much larger following than Sonic.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, that's a good question because I feel like there's a political part to that and like a just, clout part to that. Like Idris Elba clearly has a lot of clout, online. People that follow him might not, follow Sonic and might go see the movie because he's in it. Because I agree, Ash, he's an incredible actor, and I wish the rumors of him being 007 would have been true, like would have panned out.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of great things over the years, and a lot of voice acting as well. Because he was in Zootopia. He was Chief Bogo.
Oh, he was.
Right.
You're right.
I forgot about that.
He can. Dude can do comedy because he's on The Office. He played he's like the straight man in that, but he can totally do that. I don't think I've ever seen him play a character who is a little naive though. I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. I've seen quite a few Idris Elba movies, but he always seems to be like
wouldn't count as that. He's not really naive.
Like he's literally all seeing in that one, so it's hard for him to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's more soft spoken than anything.
Will Knuckles be naive in the movie, though? Like, it's hard to say how they're going to characterize him. Like, I'm assuming probably, but they also kind of changed Sonic's character a little bit. They made him more, like, kid-friendly, I guess. They kind of still gave him an attitude, but he was definitely a different Sonic. So I guess that's another thing to kind of consider.
Depends on whether they have him team up with Eggman or not. If he's helping out Eggman, he's definitely gullible. And,
I think he will.
They're going the Sonic 3 route.
Yeah, I think it's going to, like, personally I'm guessing that it's going to be, like, it's going to follow the Sonic 3 template where maybe for the first half of the movie, he's being hoodwinked by Eggman and he's fooled into working for him, but then he's going to obviously, come to his senses and, fight with Sonic and,
that's
halfway through or something.
That's actually super plausible because, like, where Eggman ends up, he's, like, in this weird, like, mushroom area, which is kind of the same location as the first level in Sonic and Knuckles.
Right,
so maybe Knuckles and Eggman kind of like collide, and then they team up, and eventually, Eggman goes back to the actual world, and Sonic and Tails convince Knuckles to switch sides or
Right.
whatever. So that'll be really interesting to see if that's kind of how that goes down, or just like what exactly is going to go down.
I am so excited to see Jim Carrey's Eggman interact with Idris Elba's as Knuckles. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie's gonna be so
Yeah.
fun, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm so I've already told my wife, like, look, this isn't coming out till next year, but you need to take the next day off of work so we can go to the midnight screening. Like,
Oh no,
this is
no.
serious. This is serious. See that?
I talked to Katie, our previous guest from Sega, and
Oh, nice.
I asked her if we could, do the premiere for this movie, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll get you guys in." So you won't
Hell
have to go to the
yeah.
midnight
Awesome.
screening. You'll probably see it a couple days before, hopefully.
Even better. Even
Hopefully
better.
this time I don't get the flu and and end up unable to go.
Oh,
that would
right.
suck.
I mean,
it
why
did.
not both? though, is my answer to that. Why not both? Go see the early
That's
premiere
true.
screening and then go to the midnight screening with all the
There you
hardcore
go.
Sonic fans. That could be a lot of, especially going into it knowing all the big reaction moments and getting to experience that with like a huge audience of Sonic fans could be really fun.
Sure.
They announced a date for Sonic 2, right? I think it's sometime next year.
Yeah, I
even
think it's
May
in
again.
April?
Is
Or
it-
May?
I think it was
April, May.
April.
I want to say we have
Yeah.
a date for
April
that.
8th.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
8th.
sure we do. April 8th? Okay. I'm sure
Yeah.
someone in the chat will tell us, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 8th is what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Cool.
Also seeing
Okay.
April 22nd. I don't know, one of the two. It's April. But that is
Okay.
one of the weird things here where like we just got casting news for like kind of a casting leak almost for the Mario animated movie, and we're like, we'll see, it might be good, we don't know.
Oh,
And
freaking
meanwhile
true.
Sonic is like, yeah, bring it on, don't care. We want it, we're so
Uh-huh.
excited.
Yeah,
It just
I mean,
goes to show what one good film could really do.
Yeah, I was gonna say the if you had told me before I saw the original Sonic movie that there would be a sequel, I'm like, pump the brakes there. Like, let's. But now, having seen the quality of the movie we all currently have enjoyed, I'm just hyped for a sequel. Like, that's a day one viewing for me, or a day zero if we can manage it. It's just really exciting to me. I still stand firm that I feel like this is Supersonic's movie. I feel like Supersonic is going to appear in this movie. I really want that to happen. But even if it doesn't, like Idris Elba as Knuckles, who knows who we're getting as Tails. Ben Schwartz has done an awesome job as Sonic. I'm just hyped.
That
am
is the
really-
question.
About Tails, yeah.
Yeah, about Tails, because we had Colleen, the actual the video game voice
Yeah.
actor for Tails at the end of the first movie.
I
Will they
want it
keep
to
her,
be her.
or will they recast her?
Yeah.
I feel like the production team behind these movies has done a really good job listening to and understanding the Sonic fan base. I'd be really surprised if they didn't have her reprise her short cameo role for the movie.
I wonder though, only because, and this is something my own dad has experienced a lot in his career, names sell, big star names sell. And so, oftentimes in voice roles in big budget movies, they won't hire career voice actors. They'll hire actors who are also good voice actors, but, hire them based on their names, like Idris Elba, Ben Schwartz. So I don't, if you got up on the poster, Ben Schwartz, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Idris Elba, it's pretty easy, unfortunately, to pick out the one that doesn't belong in terms of star status, even though I want her to be Tails in the movie. I think she should be. But I do wonder, I've seen that happen so much with my dad in his own career, I wonder if they're going to do that, because it seems like they usually go for the big names.
I mean, possibly, but at the same time, they already have 3 massive actors
True.
at this point.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I guess I imagine we're going to find out sometime this year. So
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
They've got James Marsden, they got Jim Carrey, they got Idris Elba, they got Ben Schwartz, and then Ben. I'd argue, Ben Schwartz
more
a
than
bigger
3,
name, but not a huge name.
Sure.
Like, it's just not one of those things. If they add in Amy, they can have like, okay, here we can have Zendaya as the girl again.
Oh, there you go.
She can be Amy.
I'm just going to say that in my headcanon, so as we all know, this was announced by way of a tweet from Idris Elba saying knock knock. And that, of course, is a reference to the song Unknown from Me from Sonic Adventure, where one of the lyrics is knock knock, it's Knuckles, the blow thrower, independent flower, magical emerald holder. My headcanon is that Idris Elba did that on purpose. He knows exactly what the song is. He knew those lyrics.
I really hope,
and you cannot convince me otherwise.
We have to get some sort of rapper doing that at the end credits.
I know.
Some point.
I know. I hope so.
End
credits.
Oh man.
God, I'm so.
I don't think I've
ever been so excited for a video game movie ever.
I mean, even if we don't get the rap, I just want Pumpkin Hill in the movie somewhere.
Yeah.
Just even if it's like at the beginning, I mean, that would be so cool to see that.
That would
just set it around Halloween.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
Pumpkin Hill, Death Chamber. I mean, Red Canyon. Any of the Knuckles levels. Yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, I can't wait, you guys. I'm so excited, and April can't come soon enough.
This is an interesting question. If they do recast Tails, who would be a good fit?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh God,
I like it.
Man, that's tough though. Offhand,
if this came out a few years earlier, what's his name? The kid from Stranger Things that is still in quite a few things.
I can't remember. I know who you're talking about though. I think I know which kid you're talking about.
Yeah, like the main kid.
Yeah,
I'm completely Finn Wolfhard. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely would be Tails if this came out a few years earlier.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any other young kid actors.
Yeah, I'm sure the chat will come through with a bunch that we're not thinking of, but I just hope Tails does sound like a kid though. Like I hope they don't try to age him up at all, especially because Colleen.
We need him younger than Sonic and looking up to Sonic. That's the big thing here. We need that idol worship.
He does look pretty young, at least like at the end of the first movie. So I imagine they're going to cast someone that sounds young, but yeah.
Here's the question. Will we, and I think we've asked this before when we talked about Sonic 2, but will we see Shadow get a cameo? Do we think Shadow will be in the movie, or will he maybe be in a post-credits scene cameo?
Post-credits, that's what you tease.
Yeah, post-credits. At most, post-credits. I feel like if you have Knuckles and then, Jim Carrey going full Robotnik in this movie, or full Eggman in this movie, adding Shadow on top of that would make it feel kind of cramped in the same way Spider-Man 3 did with all the various villains they tried to shove into it.
Honestly, I think I think this movie is going to be, the new characters are going to be Knuckles and Metal Sonic and Tails, of course, but leave it at that. Because you can't have Metal Sonic and Shadow at the same time. That's just a little too much. But definitely tease Shadow for the next one because God, Shadow sells.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kitty Kong Fact Tetris Connected, which I love that name, in our live audience YouTube chat, live audience patron chat, says Morgan Freeman will voice Shadow. Just try to imagine that for a second. Imagine Morgan Freeman's voice coming out of Shadow the Hedgehog. It's so weird.
That would be that'd be a fever dream if that actually happened.
Would.
Yeah. Also, really nice to see you in the chat, in the live audience chat, Jesse. It's been a little while, I feel, so it's really nice to see you there.
God, I'm trying to think of an actor that would match Shadow. Who would match Shadow pretty well?
I'll throw my hat in the ring.
Vin Diesel.
Play Shadow.
Oh, come on! You gotta if you're gonna do Shadow, you have to do Morgan Freeman's Shadow.
Oh God! I don't know
all I can think of is Morgan Freedom now. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no. If Sega wants to hire me for Shadow, I'll do it.
Will Arnett putting on his Batman voice? I could see it.
Maybe.
Christian Bale's Batman voice.
Oh God.
Also over the top. Yeah. I swear to God, swear to me. I could totally hear Shadow sounding like that.
Oh God.
Oh man. Well, I know we could easily stretch this conversation now for the whole episode, but we don't have that much time. We do have some other news to get to. And we also have some more super chats to get to. So first, we have 50 more Swedish krone from Isaac Wolf, saying, also, any chance of seeing Chugga's teammates from TRG, Proton John, and NCS on the podcast sometime? Yeah, I mean, we're open to almost anyone and everyone. So there's, certainly. That's certainly up for, That's
just a matter of reaching out and finding a time.
Yeah, exactly. $2 from Black Ninja saying, anyone interested in the Azure Striker Gunvolt series? Me. Yep, that would be me right here. Yeah. I've played both Gunvolt 1 and 2 and Luminous Avenger X. Looking forward to Gunvolt 3. I hate Copen. He's a horrible racist character, but I love the series.
I've only played the first, but it was fun.
Yeah, no, it's a cool series for sure. Really excited for Gunvolt 3. Mr. L with 5 British pounds saying, feeling sorry for Tails' actor who will now likely be pushed out for someone famous, as Hollywood does. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at before.
See,
crossing my fingers that doesn't happen.
I'm actually going to say right now, I don't think she's going to be recast. They love to appeal to fans, and I feel like this would set off the fans. So.
I'm also just the cynic in me says that they look at how much they're paying all these other big name celebrities, and they're like, she's going to be a lot cheaper. Then we're going to save some money. I think it's kind of the perfect combination of saving the studio cash and making the fans happy. Like, it's kind of a win-win.
Saving money and saving face.
Yeah, I sincerely hope that's the case because, I mean, it also probably will do wonders for her career if she does get to be in the movie alongside these huge names, right? Like, that's pretty big. Hope.
I mean, they did go out of their way to also change how Sonic looks. So, I mean, the fact that even happened at all does go to show that they are trying to cater to their fans. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and sorry, just to address this from Rob R. Man X. Yeah, it goes without saying that Tails' voice actress is excellent at her job. So,
100%.
Yeah,
I'm
my favorite of the Tails
that she doesn't get recast.
My favorite Tails voice. So yes,
yeah, mine too. So yeah, here's hoping. Black Ninja with $2 saying Sonic says, I do what Mara don't. Sorry, I do what Mara don't. Thank you, Black Ninja, for the $2 donation. Really appreciate it. And thank you for giving me any excuse at all for me to do my Sonic voice, because I have a lot of fun doing that. Skull Kid Tiger with $2 saying Sonic in the first movie, Gregzilla Knuckles cameo. Gregzilla, I'm not sure.
Was that the one? Was that the Ugandan Knuckles that they referring to, or I don't know.
I'll be honest. I've heard of Ugandan Knuckles, but I'm not familiar with. Gregzilla and Ugandan Knuckles are the same thing.
I've heard of it, but I've never actually looked into the origin. So
same.
It came from VR chat.
Yes, it is from VR chat. VR chat's actually really fun.
So, yeah, the whole thing was basically people would they would play as Uganda Knuckles, and then they would click constantly, and they would go into room. It'd be like a group of them doing that, and then they would say, "Do you know the way?" And then that was a thing for a month or so.
Yeah,
I did hear it was vaguely racist.
I don't even know.
It's kind of annoying too, honestly.
Yeah,
because I played VR chat when that was a whole thing, and it got a little annoying. So I'm kind of glad that passed so quickly.
Me too. Yeah, you don't see that meme pop up as much anymore, and I'm kind of glad because it always just seemed very problematic to me. So
yeah.
Thank you, Skull Kid Tiger, and $2 from Jacob Tucker saying Finn Wolfhard was also a player in Carmen Sandiego. I did not know that.
Yeah, the Netflix series.
Oh, cool. I remember that being a thing. I never watched it, but I remember now that
it's good.
Yeah, okay. £2 donation from Alan Wilkinson saying, will Supersonic be nice or eat your face mode? Here's hoping it's the latter. I want to see badass in your face.
You
no holds bar.
Just up the cockiness. I want him.
Yeah.
You up the cockiness. Basically, this is mainly for Steve. You make him like Gogeta.
Yep.
Just ultimate cockiness. They know, I can win. You can't beat me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I just want to see Supersonic at all, and I am confident we will. But I'm looking forward to seeing. We got a little taste of it in Sonic 1, where he goes full power at the end of the movie, and he's electrified, and that was a really cool, almost supersonic moment. But it wasn't quite actually supersonic, and so I feel like as cool as that was in Sonic 1, we're in for a real spectacle with Supersonic and Sonic 2. Finally, $4.99 from Screamo Shaman. Fun fact, Shaman in the Pokemon anime and Tails share a voice actor. I didn't know that. But given Shaman's appearance, that makes sense. I can see that working. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We also just got one more donation, $5 Canadian from Jared Helder. Did Ash and Steve finish the other Famicom Detective Club games after reviewing them? I just finished both, and they are some of my favorite games. I don't know about Steve. I made it through, I'd say, about 2/3 of the Missing Air, and then I just got sidetracked by life and other games to play. What about you, Steve?
Honestly, about the same. There's always a new game to play. And right now, like, I'm looking at August and I'm thinking, I'm not going to play anything that's not for GVG at all this month.
Yeah.
It's my birthday in 9 days. So I'm going to spend my birthday working probably. But they're good games. I like them. It just got to a point where, okay, the coverage is done and I have to move on to the next thing that we're going to cover. But
exactly.
I anticipate like in 3 months, we'll be doing Game of the Year stuff and going back and playing things we missed. And I'm sure that I'll finish up the other Famicom Detective Club game because I did really enjoy it.
Me too. I really want to
finish the chance to pick it up, but I was super excited the fact that it got localized at all. So I do want to pick it up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really good.
I really want to finish the other one. It's just a matter of time. Too many games.
Did you play it, Nate?
No. Honestly, very, very similar to you guys. The only games that I really play these days is just for work, especially because a lot of my videos can take up to a week to play, and I upload weekly. So there's that, and then it's just like you said, Ash. I mean, it's really just a lack of time.
Exactly.
So that's one that I was kind of interested in, but I don't think it would hook me, so I probably won't ever get to that one. But I mean, in terms of the backlog, there's of course lots and lots of them to play eventually.
Oh yes,
exactly. Cool. All right. Well, why don't we all come together in unity to discuss this next news story? Get that up on screen.
Wow.
Nice. I like that.
All right.
That was clean.
Thank you. So, Parsec has been acquired by Unity for $320 million in cash. This is Unity's biggest acquisition to date, but I think the most important point for everyone here is that the Parsec app itself is going to remain free. Hopefully forever, but at least for now, Parsec itself is remaining free, and this acquisition is not affecting the app itself. I don't use Parsec. I have too much to say about it myself, but Nate, I know you said you did before the show, so what are you feeling, or how are you feeling about this?
I'm very curious to see what Unity is going to do with Parsec. I think Parsec has such massive potential to get better than it already is. If it wasn't for Parsec, so just give me a minute. So I'm a part of a group channel called Minus World, and if it wasn't for Parsec, we wouldn't really be able to run that channel because we like to play a lot of retro games, like the GameCube Mario parties or N64 Mario parties as an example. And since we all live online, there's really no way to play it except through Parsec. So it's a godsend when it comes to making videos. But I think Parsec also lets you. I think you can run computers through their servers or something. I've never tried it. But it's supposed to be better than doing Windows Remote. So I'm really curious to see what Unity is going to do with this acquisition. That's a lot to spend too, because I feel like Parsec is kind of not that well known. Like I know some people know about it, but it's not like as big as something like Discord, So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in just the next few years.
Yeah. I've used Parsec quite a bit. I've used it to demo games with publishers since the pandemic started, we had to find ways to do previews and stuff without actually going places. And Parsec has been one that I've seen used by big name publishers quite a bit to demo games remotely. I also did a playthrough of the new Battletoads game that came out last year over Parsec with Tom back in the GX days. So he and I played through the Turbo Tunnel on Parsec. And the fact that even worked is a testament to how responsive that app is. But I wonder, because I guess it would be the thing that I think would be cool. And obviously I have no idea if this is the plan, but Unity being a game engine, if they could maybe embed Parsec into Unity in such a way that you could have remote testers testing builds of apps without having to compile them at home on their machines, would be really, helpful to the process of making games. Like a developer could say, okay, I've just submitted this code change and created a build. Let me have a tester, access this workstation via Parsec and just play the exact part of the game that I modified based on their feedback and let me know if it's, what we're wanting to achieve. Stuff like that, I think would be really cool. I wish everybody had a means of remotely allowing folks to play games like this, because
Right.
it could, change, it could make people working in these new kind of setups that we all have where we're all at home. It could make it a lot more, I don't know, like easier, right? Bannon,
more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our previous guest Bannon was talking about how weird it's gotten, like just at Way Forward, now that everybody's home and they're trying to, that it's complicated their setups quite a bit. So hopefully something like this, makes life easier.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think about that. That would help a lot with game development.
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
love it. Go ahead, Derek.
I was going to say, I've only heard it in terms of what Nate's used it for, and the only time I've ever played an old game online was with Fortune Street recently, which we didn't use Parsec. We used the internal online capabilities of Project Dolphin. And it worked pretty well until it randomly lost connection with one of our controllers and crashed the whole session, which really sucked because
oh no,
it was my first time getting to play Fortune Street with other people, and it ended up with a non-game. It's like, dang it.
Oh,
but,
man.
Dang.
Maybe Parsec's more stable. I don't know. But,
well, the nice thing about Parsec is that if someone drops, it's basically the equivalent of like a controller being pulled. Like it doesn't act, it doesn't freak out nearly as much. So yeah, we should try it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is surprisingly simple to use. Like it's free, and then like you even hear the controller sound effect in your PC when you're connecting someone. So that's how you can tell like if the controller connected. So it's surprisingly like robust to use.
And
God, if we get a date for was that Ash?
I said Parsec is available on Mac, and that's always a thumbs up for me. That's cool. There's a Mac version.
Okay,
I don't think I realized that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is like in the lead up to the TMNT, the new one, I forget, the Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah, play the old ones together through Parsec.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I like that idea. Yeah, I like that idea. It's still only 2 players, the old one. Well, I guess if we do a MAME emulation, that's different.
Yeah, that's the nice thing too, is because, in a way for you, Ash, it can open up, the whole library of PC games, because if I run the game and you're just joining my session, you can play any game that my PC can run.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I like that. This might be something
one thing I believe this doesn't work yet. I don't think you can get Bluetooth controllers to work with Parsec. I think it does have to be plugged in. So maybe that's something they'll eventually implement. I could be wrong unless they've added that recently, but usually, like every time I use it, it's through USB.
I use one of these guys with the wireless receiver that plugs in via USB, and I know that works. I've never tried just straight Bluetooth though.
I've always just used the classic 360 wired controller from all my PC gaming needs.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm looking too closely at the wording of this, but on one hand, it's good that both the Unity and Parsec official Twitters confirmed that the app is not changing. It's going to remain free. However, the Unity Twitter, the tweet specifically says, at the moment, nothing changes for Parsec or Unity customers. And of course, they have to leave it open-ended, and it may mean nothing, but it's a little bit.
It's covering it's covering their butts in case they do decide to change it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, technically, you do have to pay to use their servers if you want to run some sort of PC, but it's like ridiculously cheap. That's all I wanted to add.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see them moving to a model where you like if you want higher quality streaming from Parsec or something. I hope they don't do that, but they could say like, oh, hey, you want to stream 4K, $10 a month or something, but I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think this is just one of those situations where they're not changing anything, but they also don't want to paint themselves into a corner where if they decide it needs to change, then they're going back on something they said. This just gives them room to wiggle if they need to.
Right, exactly. Cool. Well, before we move on to the next news story, we do have a couple of more super chats to read out. First is $4.99 from Itsumo saying, "Happy Wednesday, fellas. I work as a school custodian, and this week in-person school started back up. Shout out to everyone in education fields."
Yes.
Shout out to you and everyone else for being on the front lines. My wife as well. She's a school psychologist, and I'm terrified for her because her district has not mandated vaccines. And so I
thought California just had mandated it across for all schools. today.
If it did, that happened today, and I hadn't heard about it.
For the state of California, they just mandated for the entire state.
Oh,
so
well, then that makes me feel so much better for her. I was very concerned about that. So, thanks for when you're busy prepping for TNT, you kind of miss some of the state news, I guess. So, thank you for that, Derek. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the education field. Seriously, Absolutely. For all the incredible work you do. $2 from Rec BCQ again, saying, when I hear Parsec, all I can think of is Parasect. Right?
That was my first time when I first heard of it.
Yeah, it's funny. I never made that connection, but now that I have, I'm not going to be able to ever.
Will never leave my mind.
Yeah. And Skull Kid Tiger with $2 saying, when TMNT comes out, can we see a 4-player live stream?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, First they have to confirm 4-player online in the game, which I hope they do. But we've already talked to She Says about being our 4th. In this TMNT Shredded Revenge debut stream. So we're really excited. I think we've already even all called our turtles. So I'm hype. I cannot wait for that game. I wish we'd heard more about it in today's indie world, but it's coming. The fact that we know it's coming is good enough for me. So exciting stuff. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our third news story of the day, in which we talk about the all-digital future. Let's get that up on screen. So, Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding fame, among many other games, of course, is expressing concern over what he calls the all-digital future on Twitter. And it's, they're at points. I'll just go ahead and read his tweets out that we can discuss them. He says, eventually, even digital data will no longer be owned by individuals on their own initiative. Whenever there is a major change or accident in the world, in a country, in a government, in an idea, in a trend, access to it may suddenly be cut off. We will not be able to freely access the movies, books, and music that we have loved. I would be a have-not. That's what I'm afraid of. This is not greed. And I have thoughts about these tweets, but he's right in a general sense. I mean, we've already seen what has happened, especially in gaming, with just the lack of preservation efforts that are going on, and how, it is quite possible to lose these games to the mists of time forever if they aren't properly preserved. And everything going all digital, we've seen how that can go. We saw it just recently, actually, with Neo: The World's End With You. That was kind of a more, that was a more innocent instance of it. But, Nintendo did revoke those digital licenses for people who got it early. Just snatched it right away. And so, he's definitely right. I just find it interesting that Kojima himself, and we know that he wants to be like the next big Hollywood big shot, but he doesn't even mention games here. He's like, we won't be able to freely access the movies, books, or music. Dude, you are a game developer. You are a game director.
He's right about it all, though. It's just like,
no, he is.
It applies to all those industries. It's just, when we can see how easily they revoked it, it was like that with the Neo, with Neo being revoked. So it's like, cool. I don't own anything if I'm all digital. That's the scary thing.
Yeah, I hate the idea of all digital.
I definitely have complicated feelings about this topic. I feel like all digital is what's going to happen. Like, we're not going to stop it. It'll never, we'll never. Because
companies want this entirely, because it's like, oh, cool, we have retained this, and they're only renting it.
Yeah, but I also feel like, sorry, I got distracted by Ash taking a picture of something. I just saw his phone barely in the frame.
There's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Don't worry. Carry on.
All right. Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I understand that this is just where the industry is heading, and I feel like all of us, our generation, this is the thing that will make people realize that we're getting old. Because the next generation of people will come up and they'll be like, yeah, everything's digital. Who cares? And we'll be like, well, in my day, we had carts and discs and paper books. And they're like, that sounds dumb. Where do you keep all that stuff? And I just I imagine it. Ash take a picture of his keyboard. But yeah, I wonder if this is our generation's hill that we're going to try to die on, and we're going to be swept out of the way by the progress of this all digital future. I agree that there is something that it doesn't feel like you own your digital products. And I think all of us, of a certain age agree with that. But I look at my kids who are 6 and 8, and they don't care. They don't care at all where their game comes from. They're like, Mario Odyssey is on something.
They don't know yet. They'll eventually realize, oh, wait a minute, I don't own this. Maybe their opinion will remain the same as it is now, or they don't care. But
that's
I mean, for me, I have like, I probably have like 500, 600 physical games. I really, really like the idea of physical games just because you actually own it. And here's the thing, I'm not against digital completely. Like, if there was a way to maintain ownership of digital games, then that's fine. Like, if you can take that digital game and use it, but with other means, like, let's say, I don't know, if it's like online only, if there was a way to take it and play it offline, that's okay. But I don't know. I like, the further we go into this, the harder it's going to be to preserve games, and I think eventually it's going to get to the point where it'll be almost impossible to preserve games. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to want to be a part of gaming when it gets to that point, because like, I like the idea of being able to, own things instead of just paying for a license, especially when they can disappear at any time, which is already happening. Like, there was Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. Was that the one that disappeared, or was it Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze?
Tropical Freeze disappeared.
It was Tropical Freeze, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, as soon as the Switch one was announced, they just dropped it on Wii U.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing,
the
thing that I find interesting is the waters are getting really muddied already with the even with physical games, right? Because oftentimes they'll ship an incomplete game on the physical media that they ship it on, and you have to go get an update to make the game playable in a sense. And obviously that means that we're still going to end up in this scenario 20, 30 years from now where, like, if you have a 1.0 press of Cyberpunk 2077, you're in for a bad time when those servers go down. And I think, we can look at this problem elsewhere where it has largely been solved. Like Apple, if you buy music, right, legitimately from Apple or from most other stores these days, it's DRM free, and you can back up those MP3s or do whatever you want with them. And if the iTunes store ever goes down, you still have those. You can move them to a hard drive or put them wherever. And I think that gaming really needs to catch up with like the music industry in that regard. They need to say, look, like, we're not going to stop piracy. We just aren't. It's not a thing that we're going to be able to control. But what we can do is maybe we can make the games easier to acquire, by lowering the price or whatever it is, and let people back up their games, let people have a sense of ownership over these digital games that we're selling. I mean, if they sold eShop games for $50 instead of $60, and they gave me a way of like, okay, it doesn't have to be simple. Like, they could say, hey, look, you got to go to the eShop on a web browser on a computer. You got to sign into this. You got to request a copy of your purchase. I don't care, man. I'll go through it to archive them, and then, hey, each one of these, there's no DRM, but they are tagged somehow with your account info. And if we find your ROM being shared online, you're done. You've lost access to the eShop forever. And those games will work on your console and your console only, something. Like, they could come up with a system, but they don't want to because they're not being pressured to. And I think it comes down to folks, raising a stink. Like, why the hell are we so backwards in how we treat digital games in 2021 when music, like, the recording industry solved it like 20 years ago?
Completely agree. I mean, as the rest of you have said, I have no problem with digital games in a vacuum in general. I have plenty of digital games that are very convenient, especially on Switch. But ownership is a genuine issue, and it's something that, Steve, as you just said, gaming hasn't figured out yet because they haven't been pressured to. It hasn't been pressured to. Right. And I hope that changes.
The other side of that, too, is that, if we don't solve this digital game problem, we run into the issue of degradation of physical media. Like, you're talking about, like, there are Game Boys now that are rotting, just because the technology was never designed to stay around for this long. And we're going to start bumping into, in the next 10, 20 years, PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast games that the physical discs are no longer good. And so, it behooves us as consumers and the industry at large to find a way to preserve these digitally and make them accessible to people. I just hope it happens.
And as Zane Mosney in our YouTube chat with a very apt reminder, RIP PT, we're talking about Kojima. PT is a perfect example of everything we're talking about. PT is an experience that is literally going to be lost forever at some point. And I mean, even if you imported over to your PS5, it's not as though you can play it. And yeah, again, it's that digital. Yeah, I mean, we don't own any of the digital everything we have in games. It's just we don't own it. And yeah,
real quick before we move on, Itiono Ben also says we need to dial back the overinflation of game file sizes if we're going to keep physical media around. That's one of the big problems. Games are just getting too big for discs, and yeah,
that's also a good point, honestly. Yeah, I mean, as someone that only collects Nintendo stuff, I never think about like how big games are. I mean, I have a couple of massive games on Steam. Like I think one of the Call of Duty games I have, it's like over 100 gigabytes big, and that's not even like considered a big game anymore.
Ridiculous.
So some games are 200-300 gigabytes. So
All Adder is saying games are getting bigger than Ridley. That's true. That's games are getting even bigger. Yeah, but when you hear about patches that are routinely like 80-90 gigs for games like Call of Duty and
that's absurd. Every time I see that.
That is absurd. Yeah. Like, come on.
Get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if people are going to try to preserve these games on their own, they also have to preserve the patches. If you want to like actually fully play it. Right. So I mean that alone, that would be a challenge even if it were to be done legally, where all the game companies are like, okay, we'll let you back up our games, but you're gonna need a lot of storage to do it, because of all the patches. So
oh yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, before we move on to the next story, we do have a couple of super chats here. The first one is from Rob Arman X with $5 saying, "Hey Ash, Rob Arman X here. You know that picture of the keyboard that you just posted was actually really cool. I take back everything I said." No, but I'm the host. That's what it says. No, it says pick yourself up a nice keyboard sometime. I love my built-in MacBook Pro keyboard. Thank you, Rob.
I am bringing
a whole joke.
Our partners at Aver Media have provided Ash with a very nice 4K webcam that can only sit on top of an external monitor, which means a keyboard would be an ideal addition. I'll make it happen. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'll go to Best Buy and I'll just buy a keyboard.
I refuse. I don't want my clacky mechanical keyboard, man.
What about an Apple Magic keyboard? It's the keyboard in your MacBook, outside the MacBook. No,
you're right. I do have one of those Bluetooth keyboards that I used for my iPad back when I was still using an iPad. So I guess maybe we're
gonna drag him into the light.
Also, Story Smith with $14.99. Thank you so much. Saying my internet died, so guess I'm watching TNT on my data tonight.
Don't run out of
data on our account. We appreciate that, but don't run out of data. Have to pay any overage fees or anything like that. We'll still be here. The episode will still be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much for the donation. We really appreciate it. Also, $4.20 from Carlos Ortiz, just saying funny number. Yeah,
nice.
Funny number, isn't it funny?
Pretty funny.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you very much, everybody, for your donations. You're just all so kind and generous. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, which is a bit of a downer, but an important little bit to cover either way. So let's get that up on screen. So we just got the confirmation today that Life is Strange Remastered Collection has been delayed to early 2022 due to the continuing COVID pandemic. And this was shared directly from the Life is Strange team on the Life is Strange Twitter account, saying, "Hello, Life is Strange fans. After Life is Strange True Colors releases on September 10th, which is my birthday, by the way, we're happy to announce that the Life is Strange Wavelengths DLC starring Steph Gingrich will release on September 30th. I guess that's a bit of a mini announcement in this as well. But the main thing here is that due to the ongoing challenges of the worldwide pandemic, they want to alleviate any additional pressure on the Life is Strange team by giving more time between the release of True Colors and the Remastered Collection. So they have made the decision to delay the release of the collection for all platforms until early 2022. We hope you understand. Of course we understand. I actually love this. I love that they are taking pressure off the team, and improving their quality of life. I think that
should happen more often.
Definitely.
Yeah. It kind of also makes sense because all of a sudden now you're giving True Colors time to breathe. It's kind of wild that there would be. I think the collection has 2-3 games on it. So all of a sudden you're getting that'd be 4 games plus DLC in a single month, and that's already a packed month for September. So this makes sense to me.
Hey, same. And I'm surprising given the hellscape that Twitter tends to be. I'm surprised at some of these really positive replies, like one saying, "I don't care how much I have to wait as long as the workers are healthy and working without stress. Don't worry and take your time." That's great. That's exactly the right take here. And it's just nice to see that happening on Twitter. I'm sure if I scroll too far down, I'll see more of what I'm expecting to see.
I think the usual folks are busy defending another indefensible position today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Those of you out there who have not played Life is Strange, I haven't played the second one, but I played and loved the first one. My wife and I both did. So certainly keep this one on your radar if you haven't played the original Life is Strange. And True Colors is looking really great too. I loved what we've seen of it so far. So, Nate, have you played any of the Life is Strange games?
No, that is not something that I have played. There were like I've seen footage of them a couple times. I don't remember a lot about it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're essentially adventure games, like choose your own story adventure type.
Okay,
games.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
kind of like The Walking Dead. The choices you make matter. Characters will remember the things you do. The story can branch in all these different ways, but it's all kind of wrapped together with this time travel mechanic thing that the main character can do. It's really cool. Great game. I've heard so many great things about Life is Strange 2, but I just personally have not had time to play it myself. So either way, just really not too much to say about this, but just a quick delay, update. But yeah, take all the time you need. As people on Twitter are saying, we'll be here. It's what's most important is the mental health and the physical well-being of the people who make the games we love so much. So
absolutely.
Yep.
No arguments here. All right, let's see here. Do we have any more super chats? Just checking really quick. No, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, well then, we're moving right along to our last news story, which, coming from a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, this is incredible. So let's get that up on screen. So Kotaku recently ran a story about I call myself a hardcore Final Fantasy fan. I'm nothing. None of us are compared to this guy. They ran a story about a fan who got every single trophy in the franchise, and it only took him a decade. No big deal. Only took him 10 years to get
10 years. That's
to get every PlayStation trophy in every Final Fantasy game available on PlayStation platforms. And this is just incredible. So not only did it take him 10 years, apparently this guy has 3 kids, a marriage, and a software engineering job.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
what?
Yeah, like the amount of things that happens to you in 10 years. Like when I was reading this article, I was thinking back to when I was 17. I'm like, wow, my life was so drastically different. And to be dedicated to something like that for such a long time, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is.
I think back to that time in my life. I'm like, I didn't have any kids like when this guy started, and I have 4 kids now. I'm like, that is insane to be dedicated to this one thing. I respect the hell out of it, man. I don't know how sticking with that is pretty crazy.
Right. And Kotaku goes into detail on some of the most difficult aspects of this endeavor. So, for example, in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn for the PS4, he had to participate in 1,000 Fates, which are special events players can grind for experience points. However, the PS5 version added a new trophy, which upped that number to 3,000 Fates, along with another new trophy that required him to gather 8,000 collectibles as a crafter. Just that alone is just too much for me.
I mean, I'm looking through this, and some of the things he had to do, because there'd be updates like Final Fantasy XIV where they added new trophies, but then there's like the City of Final Fantasy NT, which he says is his least favorite Final Fantasy game. He had to play it twice, once for the free version and once for the full retail version, and he had to win at least 300 ranked online matches, and he said he could even barely even play 30, much less win them.
Wow.
And just the dedication.
Wow. Really. And by the way, this player's name is Talon Kirk, and they go by Reborn07 on Reddit and PlayStation Network. As according to the Kotaku story, he unlocked his first trophy in FF13 on November 1st, 2010. And then on August 8th, 2021, he unlocked the last trophy introduced in FF7 Remake Intergrade, which is the achievement that made him the only person to do this.
There's a comment in here talking a little bit about the necessities for some of that stuff. Oh shoot, think I kind of lost that as I was trying to expand it so I could read more. Here it is. So by including Final Fantasy 14, he has to include there's 2 achievements that are incredibly ridiculous. Mentor Roulette being one of them, where you have to become a mentor by getting 1,500 commendations, and you also have to subject yourself to mentor roulette. Basically, new players getting in over their heads, fighting in fights that are way more difficult than they're prepared for 3,000 times. And becoming a mentor is a pain. It is rough to do, doing all of that. And then there's the A and S rank hunts. There's which is defeat 10,000 A rank world bosses and 5,000 S rank world bosses that have very specific spawn conditions.
Why are those even achievements?
I don't know.
I feel like what's even the purpose? Yeah, like what's the purpose of that? Like, oh my god.
Oh, okay. These are only. Okay, the guy misread because he's not counting the in-game achievements. I was reading further because somebody was responding to him. Basically, those are in-game achievements, not the trophies.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, why would you make that a trophy?
Still, though,
seriously,
I have to say, this guy is probably the only person that was really happy that the Pixel remasters didn't come to console. And he's just like,
good point.
Steam, great, I love it.
Moving on, he also had to play his least favorite FF game, which is Dissidia Final Fantasy.
I already read that one, Ash.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, but that's just wild. I can't imagine having that kind of time, but at the same time, he clearly doesn't. It took him over 10 years to do this, and I think maybe the most impressive
Crystal Chronicles remake. Ugh.
No, yeah, and like I think the most impressive part of this is not even the achievement itself, but the fact that he still has a marriage after all this. He still has an intact marriage after spending over a decade on this pursuit. So, respect, man. Respect to him. And
I have to imagine, like, when he was, like, first dating this person, he was like, look, I'm working on this thing where I'm getting all the trophies in Final Fantasy. If you want this to work, you have to let me do this. So, or maybe he just, I don't know, like, it could just be where he was playing it off and on, and that's why it took 10 years. So there's just like some moments in his life where he just didn't have any time to play, and then some moments where he did. So
maybe
it could be that.
They said there's somebody on here goes by the name Dr. Taco is 14 PS5 achievements away from joining him at this thing. So I didn't even know this was a thing that people did. It was like, I will platinum every game in this series, which
I feel like Square Enix should just send this guy every Final Fantasy game that ever comes out for the rest of his life. Like, he's clearly earned a seat at the table. While they're at it, Sony should just send this guy a PS5.
He must have a PS5 if he did the PS5 Final Fantasy 14 trophies, though. So
fair enough.
I mean, literally the only platinum trophy I've gotten in any Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy 13-2. I don't regret it. I had an amazing time with that game, but that took me like 90 hours by itself to get that platinum. And that's one game. This just, if I think too hard about the scope of this and what it actually entailed, it makes my brain hurt, man. Like, that's a lot of time and dedication.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's pretty wild. I think that I wonder though, because you mentioned he was a software engineer. I wonder if he has like a lot of downtime. Like, he's, has to like compile whatever he's working on, and sometimes that can take hours. And he's like, all right, time for some Final Fantasy while
I'm gonna play.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. How was work today? I platinumed another Final Fantasy, honey.
And he has Endwalker coming up later this year.
Oh, that's true. Whoa. I mean, at this point, it's like you have to keep it going, right? Like, at what point do you stop? Do you stop?
You don't.
Like,
I don't think he can. He has to keep it going.
Yeah.
This is like his thing now.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the super hardcore version of what I do with like Smash Ultimate, where I have all the spirits and I have to make sure I get all the new ones they release. But fortunately, that only takes me all of a few minutes each time new ones come out, maybe an hour or two, depending on if it's like a new DLC drop. This is such a commitment.
Is next level.
This is such a commitment. No, I mean, FF16's coming, and what's that gonna entail? But I guess once you've done the FF14
here's what I want to know.
Once you've done Dissidia NT, it's all gravy.
Has he imported the Japanese exclusive Final Fantasy games like Fortune Street? Like there's that Fortune Street, which is a crossover between Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Did they import that and do all those, or I don't know. Probably
There's got to be some parameters.
You have the stipulation of only all the English released Final Fantasy games.
He's probably watching this episode right now and cursing your name, Derek. Like, how dare he? How dare he bring up any? I mean, all I can say is what I've said, which is hats off to this guy. I can't imagine having the time and patience to complete an endeavor like this. So that's great. And we'll see. Hopefully for his sake, Final Fantasy 16, they won't be too tough. That won't be too tough to get all the trophies in. If and when the pixel remasters do come to console, hopefully that won't. But like you said, Nate, I think at this point, you're kind of in for the long haul, right? You got to just keep doing it. He needs
to just, if you dedicate 10 years and you did that, just keep going.
You still maintain the marriage. Well. Yeah. At least it's easy now. We only have to worry about the new releases.
Right.
Yeah. Well, did he start? I'm trying to think. Would he have started from when there was only a couple games?
When did Final Fantasy 13 come out, Ash?
I think it was 2009.
Okay, so he started 2 years after. Yeah, so he started 2 years after 13 was already out. So
maybe he has just been playing all the new games and just kind of keeping up with them. Because it sounds like he wouldn't have had that much catch up to do. But still, I mean, regardless, that's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
And even though it came out in 2009, he actually didn't start this endeavor until almost a year later in November 2010, which is when he unlocked his first trophy in FF13.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all the luck to you, Talon, in your endeavor to hopefully keep going and keep that trophy count at 100%. Amazing accomplishment there. So thought that was a fun news story to end off with for today. Just a fun little positive, cool, whoa, that thing happened. Holy crap. News story. But with that, we have reached the conclusion of our episode, although we do have a couple of more super chats before we get to the true end. So first we have Rec BCQ is back with $5 saying, in the past, I drew you all as rabbits and then minions. If I were to do so, what should I draw next to Meme GVG? Curious to see what poison you pick. Well, first of all, thank you for the donation and for those awesome drawings, by the way, Rec. And I'm going to throw out a suggestion that I saw from another GVG member. I'm not sure where. It might have been during the previous TNT this week, but Servbots. I want to see us all as Servbots. Oh, yeah. We've been minions. Minions are the inferior Servbots. I want to see us all as Servbots. So that is my personal take. Do you guys have any other?
You nailed it on the head with that one. I like Servbots.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Servbots are fantastic. That would be my preference.
Cool.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to put out what would make me suffer, because whenever I do, it becomes real.
There you have it, Rec BCQ. Servbots. That's our request. Thank you so much, by the way, again. And finally, $5 from Shadow Pika saying, first time popping in live. Thanks for everything you guys do. You guys and Arlo Cast are my new morning work routine. Also, nice. I've only done 30 platinums.
Only?
Well, thank you so much.
Only. I think I have maybe 5.
Yeah, I have something like that. Yeah, I think I have around 5 as well, Derek. It's 30. That's awesome. Good for you, man. And thank you for the kind words. Thank you for joining us live. We hope to see you live, in the future. We'd love to have you join us for all of our live shows going forward. But thank you for supporting us. It means the world to us, and thank you for your kind words. Finally, $6.90 from Z Patty saying, I want to say thank you for helping me keep sane during new home projects and working on my classroom. Cheers to my favorite good vibers. #foot tier.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Man, that's a throwback.
It's not even the post show yet. I think you're helping us transition into the post show, because the post show is known for being spicy, and saying foot tier is just getting a little bit into slightly spicy territory. No, thank you, Z Patty. We're so happy we've been able to help in some small way as you work on your home projects, and good luck on that, by the way. Good luck on your project. Thank you so much for watching. And with that said, we have reached the true end of episode 121 of today's News Tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. But of course, as always, before we head out, Nate, as our special guest, please tell our amazing audience, if they don't already know, which they probably do, where they can find you on the internet, man.
If you just go to my name, or if you just type in Nathaniel Bandy, you'll find all my stuff. If you don't know what I do, honestly, I don't know how to describe it half the time. But basically, it's a little bit of everything. If you like Nintendo, you'll probably find something there that you'll like. So, yeah.
I'd say it's likely.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, definitely, if you're not, I'm sure the vast majority of our audience is already subscribed to you, but if you're not, make sure to go over and subscribe to his channel, follow him on Twitter, all that good stuff. Nate, thank you again so much for being on the show. Would love to have you back anytime, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as always, we do have to thank every single one of our viewers, both here on YouTube and on Patreon, but especially we have to send a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen, because without your support, it would not be happening. And we love doing this 3 times a week with you guys. So thank you, as always, from the bottom of our hearts for all your incredible support. And of course, but also we have to give an extra special thank you to all of our producers at the all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And we're running a little early, so I'm going to do a little something I haven't done in a while. I'm going to do my best Xander Mobus impression again and read all the new names that haven't gotten that impression yet and just do that. It's been a while. So here we go. All right. Our EPs include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Etiono Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Aiko Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedron Hotik, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Sapphire, Azran127, Pagrima, Kinrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Oram M, Brady Power, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deaneth, Kota, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, No Such Thing, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandaughter, The Game Orb, The Game Orb, oh my god, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Nice. Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Darik, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the Voice Actor, Hulkamaniac 55, Chibi J, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, and last but not least, Kane Woolley. Woo! Thank you all so much. My voice started cracking there.
Wow.
Can't blame you.
That was fun. Thank you all so much. Seriously, we just love you all. Thank you so much for your support. If you're interested in finding out about more, as a reminder, we are fully funded on Patreon. You can check us out over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where we offer a variety of tiers to support us at, all of which offer some really cool perks, various levels. So go check us out over there. But even if you don't support us on Patreon, you just support us here on YouTube, that means the world to us. Every like, every subscription, every follow, ring that bell, it all makes a difference to us. Every little bit really does matter. So either way, thank you all so much. And we will be back on Friday, where Steve and I are going to be in the same place. Steve and I are going to be here together in my apartment for episode 122. So we'll see you then, everybody. And until then, good night and good vibes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.